Over 2 million people in the UK experience seasonal affective disorder, also called the winter blues. And I'm one of them. In this video, I will share how I manage my seasonal depression and how you can keep the winter blues at bay. My guess is if you're watching this video, you are a person like me who is more sensitive to the lack of sunshine, and in the winter month and early in spring is experiencing low mood and just feeling in the funk. If you're that person, you are in the right video, because today I will share 6 natural ways of how I kept the winter blues at bay for several years and what has worked for me to get it out of that funk and what you can do it too. So before we begin, let's talk about what is seasonal depression. So the winter blues are usually triggered by the change of season. So when we switch our clocks and we have shorter days and longer nights. And usually the winter blues, they start in the late autumn and can last up until late spring. The symptoms may include low persistent mood, disturbed sleep pattern, oversleeping, lack of energy, carb cravings, overeating, and just feeling in the persistent funk. A few years back, I found myself feeling really low in mood, and getting out of bed, it was really difficult. I mean, there was I would say a wake-up call where one morning I woke up and I was like, well, what's the point of even waking up? And that rang the alarm bells for myself, letting me know that something is not quite right. For many years, winter has been always kind of fun, but I would find myself that I would be craving for that spring and literally waiting for those longer days, because I noticed that my mood would always improve with that natural change and more of a daylight. But that year, it was very different, and that's what really got me to research and understand what was going on within me. So me being as a total nerd, I completely researched the heck out of it, and what I came across to understand that potentially with what I was dealing with was seasonal depression, the SAD or the winter blues or the winter depression. It can be called in various different names. And then I knew that I had to make changes and really started researching on what are the causes of that seasonal depression, so I could help myself to get over this hump and get back to feeling myself, who is fun and energetic and just has a ton of things to do. Researchers don't quite really know the exact cause, but what it seems to be a common theme, that the lack of sunlight, the natural daylight, seems to be the trigger. So there are a couple of biological aspects what lack of sunlight does to us, and that might be a combination why you are experiencing that low mood right now. So one, it could be that when there is a change in the clock, let's say in the daylight, so your biological clock has a difficulty shifting, and that interrupted biological clock is responsible for your energy, for your mood, and how you feel in general. So that disturbance of your natural biological clock may be the reason why you are experiencing that low mood. So the other thing is, it creates a brain chemical imbalance. So that means that when we are experiencing, for those of us who are more sensitive to the lack of daylight, that creates chemical imbalances in the brain. And for some people, there are theories that who are prone to getting the seasonal depression already have a lower levels of serotonin, which are responsible for the happiness. So this could be also be the reason why there is this feeling of low mood, because your brain chemical balance is disturbed. So the other cause could be the vitamin D deficiency. As we get the vitamin D primarily from the sun, from the daylight that we experience outdoors, then automatically when there is less daylight, we get lower levels of vitamin D. And vitamin D is also partially responsible in balancing those chemicals like serotonin, which is the happy hormone in your brain, leading to those chemical imbalances in the brain and the low mood. The other thing is melatonin production. So there is a theory as well that when we have shorter days, we overproduce melatonin, which is the sleepy hormone. So if we have shorter days and longer nights, our body is reacting to that and producing more melatonin, making us more sleepy and making us oversleep. And also it can disturb the whole sleeping pattern, which later on also leads into the whole circuit of not feeling great. So those are the theories that causes the seasonal depression. And in my personal view, I truly believe that it is the combination of all of those things. And the way I look at it, I know that I am way more sensitive to the lack of sunlight, and I need to understand the biochemical processes to help myself and to change my lifestyle tiny bit, especially in those winter months. So here are the 6 natural ways you can keep your winter blues at bay. Number 1, view natural light early in a day. According to the neuroscientist Andrew Huberman, he says that we should view the natural light 30 to 90 minutes upon waking up. So what that does, that actually triggers a whole host of chemical processes that need to happen for us to function normally. And that means that there is an insulin spike whenever we experience that morning and full awakeness, and that later on offsets the melatonin production at the right time. So that's why viewing natural light early in the morning, it is crucial. And to add to that, there is a huge difference between viewing the natural light through the window and actually getting outside. Here, I'm going to include a short clip and to show you what difference does it make being indoors and outdoors to experiencing that light and what it does to us. Take a look.
So look at this. This is literally out in the sun. It goes up to 30,000 lux. It is quite crazy, even more. So this is how it looks when you're literally outside. So right now, I'm gonna go inside so you can tell what difference does it make when you go inside, even though you think it's quite bright, but the light information is actually really not the same when you're indoors. So let's go in, and let's see, it seems like it's kind of bright, and I'm just gonna be right now in front of a window so you can actually see what difference does it make. So I'm going to show you the data. Okay, and here you can see I'm literally standing in front of the window, and here is about, well, 300 lux more or less. So you see what a tremendous difference it makes being outside.
Number 2, avoid bright light between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. Scientific studies have shown that the bright light exposure between those hours, between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. actually triggers pro-depressive circuits and that low mood. So literally what you want to do in the evenings, you want to have a very dimmed lights and especially very low into your physical environment. So that means not the lights hanging above your head, but something like a table lamp that is on, maybe a candle, and between those hours really have those lights dimmed down. Now, it does not matter whether these lights are blue lights or whatever lights, it's just bright light. So avoid the bright light between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. Number 3, keep a good sleep routine. Now, as you know, one of the symptoms of the seasonal depression is feeling sleepy during the day and disturbed sleep pattern. So that means that you might be feeling sleepy during the day, maybe taking a nap, and then later on in the evening, you feel alert and you can go to sleep. And that just leads you into that vicious cycle of really feeling like crap. So keeping a good sleep routine is part of the game. So that means that you're waking up at the same hour, including the weekends, and going to bed at the same hour, including the weekends. Number 4, exercise. Researchers say that exercising 3 times a week really helps to improve your mood and keep those winter blues at bay. I would say find something that you truly enjoy. That could be simply taking a walk, taking a half an hour walk, an hour walk, going for a hike, getting out into nature, doing Pilates, doing yoga, anything that moves your body. Me personally, I love some Pilates. Number 5, add supplements. Now, this has been a game changer for me. A couple years ago when I was really struggling with my seasonal depression, I remember it was early January, I started taking a herbal supplement, Rhodiola rosea. This supplement has been used for centuries in Scandinavia, Russia, even Canada, Northern Europe, to bring in a lot of energy and also cope with stress, improve productivity, and just improve the mood. That supplement has been a true game changer, and that's what I swear by to keeping my winter blues at bay for several years now. The second vitamin I would suggest taking is vitamin D. Now, naturally, as there is shorter days, longer nights, we're getting less of that vitamin D from nature, so why not to supplement it? We are a little bit more sensitive, so let's bring it on. And now, important thing is, when do you start supplementing? Now, I would say start supplementing now. Usually I start taking supplements whenever we change the clocks. So that would be here in Europe, is 31st of October. So that's where is my marker for starting to take rhodiola and starting to take vitamin D. So I am preparing myself for the months ahead, because it takes for 2-3 weeks for these supplements to really take effect. So I am staying ahead of the curve, and that has been a true game changer for me. And number 6, get excited about winter activities. Now, there are a couple of activities that you can do only during the winter. So find something that you can truly enjoy and look forward to. Researchers in northern Scandinavia say that people who look forward to some winter activities actually find the winter months way much more enjoyable. For me, personally, my favorite winter activity is ice skating, and I've been doing that for several years. So these are my 6 natural ways of how to manage seasonal depression. And I would say always use all of the things in combination, because there is never one thing that changes things. There is never 2 things. It's usually a combination of things, and that's what I have found to be very effective. I hope you found this video useful and informative, and I would love to know from you which of these tips you will start including into your daily routine starting today. And in the comments below, I would love to hear from you which of the tips you have been using over the years and what has worked for you. Also, if you have any additional tips that I have not mentioned here, leave it in the comments below. I would love to learn more, and I'm pretty sure other people would love to hear from you. And if you would like more resources on Rhodiola rosea, about the dosage, about what kind of brands I'm using, click the link in the description below and read on my blog post. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.